Okay, welcome to another standard matchup. We are playing White Weenie once again. This time we're playing against a green-red-black deck. I think it's a bit of a brew from my opponent, but it's an interesting matchup, so I thought I'd record it and show it to you. So here's our opener on the draw here. Got a Militant, Precinct Captain, Imposing Sovereign, Plains, Temple of Triumph, Mutavault, and a Spear of Heliod. Slightly awkward lands. Obviously, can't play Precinct Captain on turn 2 unless we draw an untapped white source. So it's a question of whether on turn 2 we want to play the Temple of Triumph or play out the Mutavault and play out the Imposing Sovereign. Other than that, it's a pretty good hand, I would say, so decided to run with this. So I'm going to lead off with the Militant. Pass the turn, and drops a Blood Crypt into a Caryatid. This card is really annoying for our deck. It's a 0/3. The hexproof means that even things like pacifism and other such removal spells that we do have are no good against it. And it's just a very good wall against our early 2/1s. I decided to play the Mutavault out and play out the Imposing Sovereign. Again, probably not going to be able to play Precinct Captain until turn 4 thanks to these temples coming into play tapped. But it's about as good as you can do. And I mean, with any luck we might draw a untapped white source. So I'm going to play the temple out here. See Skyjack. I could have kept that on top, but it's not too exciting. Again, we're not on turn 4, we're probably not going to have untapped mana thanks to these, so I'm fairly happy with the action we've got in our hand, so I decided to bottom that. And we attack with my 2 creatures. My friend doesn't block at all, which I assume was a misclick, because there's no reason not to block with the Caryatid, I guess. No, I can't see any reason not to. Could have gotten with the Mutavault as well there, but I think playing out the Militant is slightly better. We played out another Caryatid. It's going to come into play tap thanks to the Sovereign, which is helpful. Going to be able to get in for a decent amount here. I decided to go with activating the Mutavault here and getting in. We can get in for 2 through 6 here, putting our opponent down to 8. Could have added another creature to the board instead, but I think our opponent's close enough to dead that we're gonna like just attacking here. So we can put it down to 8. Play another Scryland. And I ended up not playing the Soldier of the Pantheon even though I could, just to keep up Brave the Elements to protect us against any sort of removal. Maybe it would have been better just to commit an extra creature to the board to make sure that we're going to be able to get in this last bit of damage, but I was playing a little bit more cautiously. Maybe it would have been better to play the Soldier. I can't quite remember how this turns out. Our opponent plays Fire Insanity, so we definitely should have played the Soldier, as it turns out, because we're going to have to discard all our cards, which is very annoying, and means our Alpha Strike is probably a little more difficult to achieve, but we're still going to be able to attack here. We're going to be able to get in for 6, putting our opponent down to 2, so we're still in good, but our opponent does have 4 blockers, essentially. Our opponent actually concedes, which is a little bit strange. Couldn't have won in the next turn, but I don't know, maybe they just drew a blank and didn't think that they were going to have a way out of this situation. Yeah, they weren't dead just then, but probably would have been in the long term. Seems though we probably could have got 2 damage through eventually with some creatures. And obviously he can't get on the aggressive while he's facing down lethal, so yeah, probably difficult for him to come back from the situation he was in at that point. So I guess that's why we got the concession. Let's go on to game 2. So here's our opener. It's not the best, but 5 lands is slightly too many, but I'm hoping that we just draw some good creatures, and this can be decent. It maybe was a mulligan, should have been a mulligan, because Carroted pretty much shuts down these guys. I mean, I can't really play them out quick, do much about it. Yeah, I drew pacifism from out of the sideboard, but that's not much good against the Carroted. Play Sovereign, ends up getting hit by Abrupt Decay. Opponent plays out the Zertar Druid. It's an interesting one, all that often. Play out Precinct Captain, but things are going kind of slow for us. I'm just trying to play out the Spear so we can attack with a 3/3 Precinct Captain. Maybe I should have just played out the other Precinct Captain and waited, but I was quite keen to get on the aggressive before he starts going crazy with his big creatures. Ends up using a Volcanic Geyser to kill the Precinct Captain, so that worked out badly for me. He then drops a Sire of Insanity, which means we're going to have to discard a hand. And yeah, we're pretty much done from here. I'm just going to be able to attack for 7. Draw Judge's Familiar, which isn't going to be too good. We're not in the worst position, as a matter of fact. So he attacks, we can block the Elvish Mystic, kill off the Sire of Insanity with the Spear of Heliod, and we're in a reasonably stable position now. So 3 life is probably a little bit too low. Our opponent drops a Desecration Demon, which is bad for us, for sure. Use the Spear to kill off the Druid. Spear actually lets you destroy any creature that dealt damage to you this turn, not just combat damage, so when it deals 1 damage to each opponent, I can actually destroy that. But Desecration Demon's going to be a lot harder to deal with. Not sure we draw a Banisher Priest off the top, but we're still not in a very good position to attack. We can do 2 damage, but it's not going to be enough. Another Desecration Demon comes down, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There might have been a way to win from there, but I don't really see it happening, especially with us only on 2 lives, so even this Head Nest is lethal damage. So yeah, if we had a slightly higher life total, I think maybe we could have done something here, but unfortunately I think we were a little bit too slow off the mark and ended up not being in a position to be able to win through here. So let's go on to game 3. Ooh, I took a mulligan there. I think my opening hand again had like no 1-drops, and it was quite but it's because the hand was pretty good, but I really want to get a 1-drop down and just force some pressure on him early, and this hand is a lot better for doing that. I'm going to lead off with a Soldier of the Pantheon. Front leads off with the Scryland. I'm going to attack the 2 here, and play out the Judge's Familiar and the Soldier. So now I've got 5 power on the board. I'll just leads off with plays a Guildgate, which is great for us. Means we're going to be able to get in for 5 here. Fortunately we didn't draw a land to play the Spear, as that would have been even better. But can't have everything. So we're going to get 2 life off this Druid coming into play. And yeah, once again, no land, so unfortunately we can't play the Spear. But I'm just going to attack anyway. Front doesn't block, which is interesting. Obviously not something planned, but I'm quite happy for him to take 5. Front plays Gaze of Granite. Sorry. Gaze of Granite, and it's one of the few times that I found the indestructibility ability on Boros Charm has actually come in use. I don't know if it would have been better to actually just let my creatures die since the Boros Charm does 4 damage, but I would have had to actually find something else to do the last 2 points of damage. And so I'm going to use the indestructibility mode on the Boros Charm. So our creatures survive. I'm going to attack here. I could have gotten for the full 5, put an opponent down to 1 if we'd used our Brave the Elements on naming green, but I kind of want to save Brave the Elements for the actual final Alpha Strike. Possible, and yeah, our opponent concedes. Looks like we had that one wrapped up. Even if he played a big creature, we could probably use Brave the Elements to get past it, and that would have wrapped things up nicely. So yeah, turn 5 win. Nice quick win for us, and that's what we want to see with this deck. And an interesting brew from our opponent. Siren Sanity is certainly a very good card, and there's some other pretty sweet cards in here as well. So that was that.